Hello student, welcome back to my channel. So today we will discuss here about the next topic of chapter work, energy and power. The topic which we will discuss today is our potential energy and its type and the derivation of the type. So see here, today we will discuss about the topic which is potential energy. Point clear? So when we talk about the potential energy, before that we have discussed about the kinetic energy. Potential energy is the energy which is due to the position of the object, and similarly the kinetic energy which is due to the motion of the object. So when we write the definition of potential energy, we can say here the energy possessed by an object or body by virtue of its position, and or you can say position or configuration in some field. Point clear? This is called the potential energy of a body. So here the position and configuration, position or configuration play a role by which we can identify the energy of a body is potential energy, or in short way you can say the potential energy is the energy which is due to the position of the body. So when we think about the type of potential energy and its types, so first is gravitational potential energy. And second is elastic potential energy. So gravitational potential energy, when we talk about it, gravitational potential energy, you know that it is amount of work done to carry an object from the surface of earth to a certain height. Gravitational potential energy, you may define it, it is the amount of work done to carry an object or a body from surface of earth to a certain height, or you can say amount of work done to carry an object a certain height from the surface of earth is stored as the gravitational potential energy. Point clear? Or you can also define that gravitational potential energy, the energy possessed by a body from a certain height from the surface of earth. Point clear? So when we think about the gravitational potential energy formula, so see here, if suppose you can consider here, suppose this is the surface of earth and this is a body, and we are displacing this body to a certain height. Suppose the height of the body is h from the surface of ground. So that time, if I suppose the object has mass m, and you know that the weight of the body which is equals to mg, w is equals to mg vertically in downward direction, and we want to carry this object from the surface of earth, which is a work as a reference plane. So from the surface of earth to a certain height, so that time you will do amount of work done which is against the gravitational force of attraction. So amount of work done to carry the object at height h from the surface of earth amount of work done W is equals to force into displacement. Displacement, and here the displacement is vertical, so I will write force into height h. So when we think about the force, how much amount of force we will use to lift that object, it will be the weight of the body. So this force will be W is equals to mg equals to W is equal to mg. So here W is equals to mg into h. This is amount of work done to carry the object, and this work is stored as the potential energy of the body, which is called gravitational potential energy. So this work can be written as W is equal to potential energy GPE, gravitational potential energy. When you want to write this gravitational potential energy in a symbol form, so as we know that gravitational potential energy is a function of displacement, which is here height, so we can represent the gravitational potential energy by Vh, which is equals to mgh. Here Vh representing the gravitational potential energy, which implies it is a function of h. It means that h is variable, m and g both are constant when we are carrying an object vertically in upward direction. H is variable, it changes with respect to time. Height is changeable, so that's why it is a function of h. So Vh is represented our gravitational potential energy, and if we are thinking about here the differentiation form, if we write the derivative form of this dv h over dt, means if we derivate this Vh with respect to h, not t, because here h is a variable, so we will get the value d upon dh is equal to mgh, and student, by differentiation you know that it is d upon dh, mg will come out and it is h, so it will give us mg into 1. So finally we will get the value mg, which is equals to Vh, which is equals to d upon dh of Vh. You can write like this. So this mg implies the force which is exerted on the object. So you can say this force is equal to dv upon dh. And if you want to write this force in the term of gravitational force, so here this is the force which we are doing against the gravitational force. So here if you want to think about the gravitational force formula, as the gravitational force direction vertically in upward direction, we are applying the force opposite to the gravitational force, and this one is the direction of gravitational force, so it is just negative of applied force. So therefore Fg is equals to negative of F, and in place of F you can write minus dv upon dh. So finally you can see Fg is equals to minus dv upon dh. And here if you are thinking about the gravitational force is a function of h, so if I consider this h by x, means in place of h, if I suppose consider x is our vertical displacement, so for that we will use this formula in the term of function of x. So here fx can be written as minus dv upon dx. Here this fx is our gravitational force, so the ordinary amount of work done, so the work done against the gravity will be fx is equals to negative of this, so it will be dv upon dx. This negative sign implies it is our gravitational force. So in the term of force acting on object to carry it from the surface of earth to a certain height, it is equals to fx dv upon dx. Now by cross multiplication you will get Fx dx is equals to dv. Now see, this is your amount of work done. So it is called RTW, and it is our change in potential energy. So we can write total amount of work done, total amount of work done to carry the object from their initial point to the final point. Suppose from here to here, suppose from here to there. So from xi to xf, fx dx, it is equals to our change in potential energy at the position of xi. Suppose the potential energy vi at the position of xf, suppose it is vf. So this one is called a total amount of work done, known as potential energy. So we can write it is equals to difference of dv is equals to v, integration of this is equals to v, and final minus initial. This is your answer, which is called the total amount of work done to carry the object from xi to xf. This is stored as the potential energy of the body. Now see, this one will be the force, which is our conservative force. So this equation implies us the work done by conservative force, work done by conservative force is equals to the change in potential energy, because change in potential energy means final potential energy and initial potential energy. Potential energy, you can write difference of final and initial potential energy. In place of change, you can write difference of final and initial potential energy. Point clear? Now see student, if suppose that object which is at height h is released from that height, suppose that object is releasing from the certain height which is h, so we know that that time at a certain height it has only potential energy, not kinetic energy, which is equals to mgh. But when the object will reach at ground, so their potential energy is transformed or converted totally into the kinetic energy, which is equals to half mv square. And if you want to see the velocity of that body at ground finally before the collision, so you can say that at the ground the kinetic energy of the body, which is half mv square, is numerically equal to the potential energy of the body, which is equals to mgh at certain height by the conservation of energy. So here from this equation you will get the value of v, which is equals to square root of 2gh. From this equation we can say that the velocity of the object depends on square root of height, means it is square root of directly proportional to square root of height, because g and 2 remaining are constant, these two are constant, so the remaining part is h. So from this equation we can write this formula in front of you. So this is the part of gravitational potential energy. And here when we talk about the type of work done, when the work done will be positive, when the work done will be negative. So amount of work done by an object or body is our positive work done, and amount of work done by on an object or a body is our negative work done. Now after the discussion about the gravitational potential energy, in which we will discuss the gravitational potential energy is the energy possessed by a body to a certain height from the surface of earth. So here we will talk about the potential energy of a spring. Second, the potential energy of a spring. So when we talk about the potential energy, in a spring or potential energy of a spring, as we know that spring are two type. Basically springs are two type. One is helical form and the second is a spiral form. So when we talk about the helical shape like this and the spiral is like this, so you have two type of spring in practice, helical and spiral. And here the spring which we are taking, it is our elastic spring. Elastic spring means that it has a tendency to restore it, or means it has a tendency to oppose the change in their position or configuration, means compression and rarefaction. So here when we talk about the potential energy, because here we have two terms, compression and rarefaction, or compression and extension if you want to say. So the potential energy of a spring is the energy possessed by or associated by the compression, associated with the compression and rarefaction of a spring. So we can write the definition here. So it is the energy possessed by, or it is the energy associated with compression and rarefaction. You can write rarefaction or extension of a spring. Point clear? So when we are taking a spring, suppose this is a spring and one surface of the spring is rigidly bounded and another surface or another end of the spring is free, and if initially the position of the object is supposed to be here A, so initially the spring is at rest, and when we apply the force on that spring, you know that when we want to apply a force, extension force, which we can say means in this direction. So 1 2, so see here the spring will stretch. So here see, if we apply the force on that spring in this direction, suppose this is our initial point at point A and this is the same initial point A, and here the new point of the spring means new position of the spring by applying the force. This is our F external force. So when we apply the external force on that spring, the spring will displace from their mean position, means from their initial position, which is our stationary position A to B, by displacement x. So that time if we release the spring by this external force, the spring will come again in their initial direction, means to the direction of A, by the restoring force. Point clear? F restoring. So this restoring force restore the location, or you can say the configuration or position of that spring. So when we write about the potential energy of a spring, so we will start our derivation by the Hooke's law. Under the condition of elasticity of a spring, when we apply the force by the Hooke's law, the restoring force acting on a spring is directly proportional to negative of its displacement, means that we are applying a force in this right direction, so the restoring force will act opposite to the applied force direction, means toward their initial position, and this is the displacement which is toward the right direction. So that time this restoring force is negative of the displacement of the body. So Hooke's law state that under the condition of elasticity in a spring, the restoring force act or you can say directly proportional to negative of displacement. And when we remove this proportionality symbol, I will use here a constant k, which is called spring constant or force constant. Here k is proportionality constant known as force constant or spring constant. And when we will verify this relation, we can write f is minus f upon x. K is equals to f upon x, and the value of k depends on the length of spring. Remember these point: length of spring, area, or you can say radius of spring, and the nature of spring, Point clear? So when we write relationship between the spring constant, force constant, and the length of the spring, we will write it is inversely proportional to k by L. It means that if the force constant or spring constant is less, the length of the spring will be greater. For smaller length, it will be greater. Point clear? So if we want to write the graph representation or graphical representation between the force constant and the length of spring, so that time you will see the graph will be like this, inversely proportional type of graph. This is the graph which represent k is inversely proportional to L. And on the other hand, when we write the graph between the force constant, means restoring force, and the displacement from this equation or this inequality relationship, then we will see that in magnitude, when we talk about this restoring force and this is a displacement, it gives us a linear graph in which we can say f is directly proportional to x, or you can say if suppose this is our external force, so external force will be directly proportional to x, or in case of restoring force you can write like this. Point clear? So here when we ignore this negative sign and we are focusing about the magnitude only, so this graph we can write f is directly proportional to x only. So this is the graphical representation of restoring force and displacement. Now here we will talk about the amount of work done which is stored as the potential energy of a spring. So see, as we have here restoring force which is equals to minus kx, and we know that against this restoring force we will apply our work, which is our F external force, which is by our F external, or you can say the external force. Now I will calculate the work done. See, work done, or you can say the potential energy of a spring. So the potential energy of a spring, we can say, as we have given F restoring is proportional to negative of x, it implies F restoring is equals to negative of kx, and we know that the F external force is negative of F restoring. It means that negative of negative kx, it gives us value kx. So therefore amount of work done see here, amount of work done to compress or extend. To extend, firstly I will do to extend the spring, a small displacement, suppose displacement dx, हम ये मान लेते हैं कि इसमें यहाँ पे dx डिस्प्लेसमेंट के लिए कितना अमाउंट ऑफ वर्क डन स्टार्टिंग करना पड़ेगा इसे, तो इट विल बी dw which is equals to f external force, it is our external force, listen carefully, and into this is our dx, and the direction of f external and dx is here supposed to be elementary distance from, supposed to be this one is our A point, this is our B point, and here I will again consider any other point C for the compression time. So here suppose the point we are talking here about this elementary displacement along the direction of AB, suppose by applying some external force, so work done will be like this. So therefore if we substitute the value of kx from this equation, dx, and this will be dw, so the total amount of work done, so the total amount of work done, it will be what? W is equals to integration from 0 from the rest position which is called x equals to 0, or you can say x1 is equal to 0, and this is another position which is x2 is equals to x for x displacement. So from x1 is equal to 0 to x, this is the limit of the question, kx dx. So here you will see integration 0 to x, x dx, which is equals to k x square by 2 from 0 to x. If you will write the limit, upper limit remains same, lower limit 0. So in case of limit, if I will write, 2 will come outside, upper limit same as it is x square, and lower limit 0, it will be 0. So the answer will be half kx square. So this work done will store in the form of potential energy of a spring. When the spring displaces from the position A to B, which is equals to half kx square. Point clear? So this is called potential energy of a spring. So this is the derivation, and here if we think about the potential energy and kinetic energy graph, as we know that the total mechanical energy of a system remain conserved. So if we think about it, so we will draw one more diagram. In case of that diagram, we will see the object, when we release that object from this position. So first I will draw this diagram like this, and when we release, suppose this is the location of new position which is here C. Okay student, when we release this force at our second case, this is our first case, second case, and this one is our third case. So that time the body will move toward the position A, which is their initial position, and it will not stop at point A. It will move away point A, which is just opposite to the point B, means just opposite to the direction of point B. Means that if we are applying the force in right side direction by some external force Fx, and when we release that object, the object will move and it will not stop at A. It will reach after passing the point A at any new point which is C, by which here initially the spring is expanded form, or means that in spring expansion is there, here compression will start. Due to this compression, the force by which the object supposed to be displaced from the point A is again our external force, and here the displacement supposed to be same. So this is, तो जब हम यहाँ से ऑब्जेक्ट का फोर्स रिलीज करेंगे तो उस केस में जो बी ऑब्जेक्ट है, क्योंकि स्प्रिंग स्ट्रेचेबल है, तो ड्यू टू दिस रीस्टोरिंग फोर्स जो उसे आपके पास रिस्टोर करेगा अबाउट देयर इनिशियल पोजीशन, तो उस पोजीशन से यहाँ पे जो पोटेंशियल एनर्जी होगी, उस पोटेंशियल एनर्जी को जैसे ही हम यहाँ पे फोर्स रिलीज करेंगे तो ये जो बॉडी है ये मूव करेगी टुवर्ड द डायरेक्शन ऑफ देयर इनिशियल पोजीशन, और उस केस में उसके पास काइनेटिक एनर्जी होगी, और उस काइनेटिक एनर्जी से वो पॉइंट ए पे नहीं स्टॉप होगा, वो इस ए को भी क्रॉस कर जाएगा और किसी एक न्यू पॉइंट सी पे आपके पास स्टोर होगा। तो जितना हमने एक्शन फोर्स लगाया था उतना ही रिस्टोरिंग फोर्स उसे रिएक्शन फोर्स देगा। जो डिस्प्लेसमेंट हमारा एक्स फ्रॉम ए टू बी हो रहा था उतना ही डिस्प्लेसमेंट अब हमारे पास फ्रॉम ए टू सी होगा। पॉइंट क्लियर? ये आपके पास इनकी क्या थी, आपकी फर्स्ट पोजीशन थी ए पोजीशन, और ये सेकंड और ये थर्ड, तो जब उतना ही फोर्स आपको यहाँ पे मिलेगा तो उस केस में क्या होगा कि आपके पास स्टूडेंट सी हियर, उस कंडीशन में आपको जो पोटेंशियल एनर्जी इस स्प्रिंग की मिलेगी, सो वो आपके पास कितनी होगी, अगर इस डायरेक्शन को हम x पॉजिटिव कर ले रहे हैं, इसको हम अपोजिट डायरेक्शन है तो नेगेटिव x कंडीशन पे लेट कर रहे हैं, ठीक है, a के रिस्पेक्ट में, तो उस कंडीशन में जो पोटेंशियल एनर्जी होगी वो हो जाएगी आपके पास हाफ k और x की जगह हो जाएगा माइनस एक्स होल स्क्वायर, इट विल रिमेन सेम हाफ के एक्स स्क्वायर। तो कंप्रेशन वाले केस में भी आपके पास वो काइनेटिक एनर्जी कंजर्व होके किस में आ गई, पोटेंशियल एनर्जी में। तो इस केस में जो पोटेंशियल एनर्जी थी वो एट पॉइंट सी क्या आ जाएगी, हाफ के एक्स स्क्वायर। अगर इस कंडीशन में आपके पास पोटेंशियल एनर्जी इन कंप्रेशन एंड रेयरफेक्शन मींस पोटेंशियल एनर्जी एंड काइनेटिक एनर्जी इफ यू से, अगर ये दोनों के दोनों आपके पास प्योरली आपके पास क्या हो रही है, ट्रांसफॉर्म हो रही है एक दूसरे में, तो उस केस के लिए आपके पास क्या होगा कि टोटल पोटेंशियल एनर्जी इज इक्वल टू टोटल काइनेटिक एनर्जी ऑफ द बॉडी। और जो ये स्प्रिंग है ये क्या करेगा आपके पास विद रिस्पेक्ट टू पॉइंट ए वाइब्रेशन स्टार्ट कर देगा इन फॉर्म ऑफ कंप्रेशन रेयरफेक्शन इन विच द पोटेंशियल एनर्जी एंड काइनेटिक एनर्जी बोथ आर ट्रांसफॉर्म टू ईच अदर। एंड हियर इफ सपोज यहाँ पे हम अगर ये देखें कि ये जब ये वाइब्रेशन स्टार्ट कर देगा तो उस केस में क्या होगा, अगर सपोज Vm जो है आपके पास, Vm जो वेलोसिटी मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ, काइनेटिक एनर्जी आपके पास फॉर्मूला हाफ mv स्क्वायर होता है, पोटेंशियल एनर्जी अभी अभी आपने फाइंड किया है mgh होगा, सॉरी इस केस में आपके पास पोटेंशियल एनर्जी हाफ के एक्स स्क्वायर होगा, ठीक है। सो फॉर दैट इफ Vm एंड xm आर द मैक्सिमम velocity and displacement of a body, so for that we can say that half mv square vm square is equals to half kx m square, half kx square. From this xm and vm are the maximum velocity and this the both value will cancel out, this will not, they both half cancel out and we get the final answer mv m square is equal to kx m square. So vm square is equal to k x m square upon m. From this relation vm is equal to square root of k by m of x square, m is x m square, sorry. So here this is called the relation, this is called the relation between Vm and xm. And if we think about the dimension of k by m, it will be force constant. Here the dimension will be what, it is our meter. Here see right hand side the dimension formula means, or you can say the SI unit meter per second, and left hand side meter, so it will give us completely second, so it will be second square, so that we will get the dimension SI unit of k root m is equal to second inverse, and we will get the final meter per second inverse to make their dimension same in LHS and RHS. So here the SI unit of k by m is second square and root k by m is second inverse. Point clear? So this is the relation between the maximum kinetic energy and maximum displacement attained by the spring in their potential energy of a spring derivation. Point clear? Here if we think about the potential energy of a spring, by the force and displacement graph. So as we know that the restoring force is equals to negative of kx, so if we draw the graph of restoring force and the displacement, this is our x direction, this is our x dash, and you know that this is the y dash direction and this one is y direction, and this is the force in this direction, and this is our origin point. So if we take here the value of k, the value of x in positive way, So that time you will see, if you will substitute if x greater than 0, that time f from this equation will less than what, 0, because of this negative. So f will somewhere in this axis, y dash axis, from this origin. And here if you will substitute x less than 0 value, so x less than 0 means negative, negative, positive, so that time you will get f greater than 0. So it will be, if suppose you will do x negative, then you will get value of this positive. And if you want to draw the graph of this, you will get the graph in this way. As I told you, it give us straight line curve, means linearly force and displacement both are linearly related to each other. So this is the graph which is called f proportional to minus x, or f is equals to minus kx type of graph. And here if you want to see about the area of this graph, see at this point, suppose, see here at this point, the area of this force and time graph give us the potential energy of a spring with the help of fx graph. See here, this is the displacement x positive, and this is the work done which is here negative. So if we think here about the area, suppose it is area of triangle OML, it is equals to half base into height. Suppose it is f, height into base, f into x. Now you can substitute the value of f, which is equals to minus kx, then you will get minus kx into x. It will give us half kx square with negative sign. Therefore potential energy, or you can say therefore amount of work done by restoring force is equals to minus half kx square. As we know that external force is just opposite to the restoring force, so the potential energy or amount of work done by external force, you can write W is equals to half kx square, which is equals to the potential energy of the spring. So from these two relation, you will see here, this is a negative work done, this is our positive work done, and this is the work done. See here, this is the work done on body by restoring force, and this one, when we apply the force, external force, so this is the work done by body on spring. So point clear? That's why it will be positive and it will be negative. So to understand them, pause the video and note down.